When I was a little kid growing up in France, my favorite sandwich after school was crunchy bread and dark chocolate.
Well, when I was a little tiny bitty kid growing up in Pasadena, California, my favorite sandwich was the ice cream sandwich with chocolate and vanilla. That was wonderful.
Sounds good.
Well, today we're going to do sandwiches, but without chocolate.
And without ice cream.
So let's get going. That's good.
Happy cooking.
Bon appetit. Well, here we go on our sandwich show. I'm going to do a croque monsieur. That's a ham and cheese sandwich.
And I'll do a croque madame.
A croque madame,
which is
good.
the cheese with chicken.
Well,
so,
we'll start out with
bread.
With nice white bread. And I'm going to put a little mayonnaise on. How do you start yours, Jacques?
No, I just put some butter on each side.
Just butter?
Yes. So I put butter. And are you cooking that in a skillet?
Well, you'll see.
Oh, good, okay.
I'm going to put a little bit of mustard on each.
I'm going to cook mine in the oven.
In the oven?
Yes.
I'm going to finish mine in the oven, so I hope you leave me a little bit of room.
There'll be some room.
Well, I don't need too much.
I'm putting a piece of Gruyere here.
I like some Gruyere, too. Nobody knows the origin of the name croque monsieur. It seems to have been French, don't you think?
Well, it sounds like it.
It didn't appear till about in the 1900s.
Oh, yes?
So I have some Gruyere cheese on each side here.
Good.
And then some really nice, a really nice piece of ham in the middle.
Yeah, that ham really look good. I have chicken. When you have chicken left over, it's a good way of using it. Cut thin, of course, it's cooked chicken. I like to put a bit of Tabasco on mine. Here.
You're a great one for hot stuff.
Hot stuff, yes. I like herbs, you know. So maybe I'll put a little bit of chives in the middle of mine.
Well, I'm just going to fold mine over like that.
This way.
And then I'm going to cut the sides off.
Oh. For mine, I put them...
You're going to put them in whole that way.
Yes, I put the other piece of Gruyere this way. Leave them this. Then I put butter on the outside. Whoop, on each side. And they go directly in the oven this way. On top of this.
Well, I'm going to show you, because croque monsieur has been such a favorite sandwich. I'm going to show you. This is a heavy metal cast aluminum pan that you can heat them on top of the stove. And this is fun. This is an electric one made with no stick. And you just make the sandwich in there.
I'm putting mine in the oven here.
That's very nice. But I'm going to do it in the kind of a more traditional way of sautéing it in clarified butter. Clarified butter's where you've melted it and you spoon it off the milky residue at the bottom of the pan. And if you do that, then the butter won't burn. It's that milky residue which burns and speckles.
While yours is cooking, you're going to saute it in there. I'm going to start on lobster roll on this side.
Oh, good.
And I'm using those hot dog rolls. You know, when I work at Howard Johnson, we used to have a lobster roll, and it was done in there, you know.
So we're going to have the real Howard Johnson one.
Yes.
That's
so
great.
we're going to saute that into butter. And what I have here, we're going to do 2 lobster rolls, one cold, one hot. And I have lobster pieces here, just in melted butter. You have to eat them up slowly so they don't get tough.
Now I'm going to put my sandwich in here.
And that's cooked. Do you press it as it cooked?
I always press it down a little bit. So that just has to brown rather lightly on the other side.
Good. So I continue with mine. I'm putting some cracked pepper here.
Good. That's all butter in there.
Yeah, cracked pepper and lemon juice.
And this is the way they did it at Howard Johnson.
The way I remember it. Yes.
I hope they still do it that way.
No, I doubt it. And I'm going to add a little bit of tarragon, which probably wasn't there, but I love tarragon. Here it is. And just keep it warm this way, just until you put it into the bread.
I'm turning my sandwich now, but you have to be very careful that you don't get it brown too much on the bottom.
Well, I'm going to turn the lobster roll, which are nice and brown.
That's a good idea, browning it. I like that.
On both sides, you know, so it kind of warm up the center, but it stays soft in the center.
Now this is interesting. When you do it in the frying pan, the cheese never melts. I've looked this up over a lot of places, and nobody had a good idea except an old copy of Joy of Cooking. And she said, put it in a 300-degree oven, which means that you can make a whole lot of these, put them on a cookie sheet, and then put them in the oven, and the cheese would melt. This only needs 3 or 4 minutes.
3 or 4 minutes, okay. Well, mine is cooking all right in there,
We'll
too.
try to remember. Now,
we go on with the cold lobster roll, and here they are ready now on each side, and I want to keep them right here. They're nice, warm. So, this one here, I thought we put the lobster. You want to give me a little bit of mustard and a little bit of mayonnaise in there? I like to put a little bit of ketchup also. She's like
too much.
A cocktail sauce, you know, a little bit. And I'll do a little bit of celery, chopped celery in there. Not much. 1 or 2 tablespoons maybe at the most.
I'll put about 2 tablespoons of mayo in there.
Okay, here it is. I think maybe I'll give you a little bit of shallot or onion, you know.
This is much nicer and fancier than the ones I've usually had.
Well, no, along the sea, you know, in Connecticut, we have that. It's kind of classic in summer. I don't know if they put shallot, maybe
We
not.
have it up in Maine, but they don't put as many nice things as this in it. That was wonderful.
Good.
There you are.
And cracked pepper. Cracked pepper all the time.
I think we probably should taste it.
Yes. To extend it, what we do is a little
lemon.
bit... Lemon, okay. That's a good idea. I had lemon somewhere here. Good. So I put some shredded lettuce. Give it a bit of a texture inside, and it also extend it, you know?
That's going to be... Just extending it, that's a good restaurant trick, isn't it?
No, but it's good, in fact.
Well, it's good, too. It gives it a little crunch.
Shall we check on your croque monsieur before
Yes.
we finish this? I'll get it and look at mine, too. Yeah. Oh, this is hot, so I won't put it on this.
Yes, the cheese is... I think cheese is melted enough. How about yours?
More mine will take another 10 minutes, you know.
No, well, let us plate mine and we'll see how we like it. I think this is very rich. You could actually serve just one would go for 2 people.
Yeah, look at that.
That looks
beautiful.
That's lovely. Or you could make a lot of them and cut them into quarters as an hors d'oeuvre.
That's good. Now we're going to do the cold lobster roll, and this is the one with the lettuce right in the center here. You know, lobster is great in summer. I can't wait when summer comes to New England, you know.
Serve them in the winter times.
In the winter too, but the lobster are expensive in the winter, much more than in summer. And in this one, the hot one, I like to put like, you know, we line it up with a bit of lettuce like this, and then we put the hot lobster in there.
And that's just butter.
Just plain butter with a little bit of tarragon and lemon juice, you know, inside. And we have to be just generous with the butter here. And that's it. This is fit for a king, you know. Well,
We're done.
they look good now. I think they are ready. It's an easy way to doing it also when you have a whole tray, you know, of it for a party. You do them this way. And I like to trim them after, you know. I mean, if you want to be fancy, you don't have to.
What's nice to
But trim
look
like
better.
this, I would put them this way for hors d'oeuvre, you know, to pass around, you know. Hors d'oeuvre.
To
So
pass
that's-
with le cocktail.
Yes, with the cocktail. So we can...
That
pass
looks
this
very
around.
nice. I think this...
You know, this is an easy thing to do on a hot hors d'oeuvre, you know, that people don't think of doing. And as I say,
Because
with
it's
the
so
croque,
easy.
Madame as well as the croque monsieur, you know, you would want to do this. So this is it for our sandwich.
Now we're going to do an enormous loaf chowder fish sandwich. This is one of Jack's inventions.
So what we're going to do, this is about a day-old bread. And what you want to do is to cut the top to do a shell, you know. Here. And this, you look at that, how nice it is inside, you know. I just cut it this way.
And then you have a friend around who's going to pull all the insides out of the bread.
Yes. That's nice to have a friend in the kitchen
Yeah.
working. I cut it in pieces like this, you know. So like that.
Easier removal.
Yeah, we can twist it, you know, to remove it, because I need some to put in the food processor, you know, to do some breadcrumb.
Fine. Well,
You're gonna give me more. I put in there. And this is why it's good to use a kind of, not dry, that bread is not dry, but at least a day old. And this is a very good quality bread. Look
and
at
this
the
is
inside.
really a country bread, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah, that's plenty for me for what I need to do now.
Okay. Is this going to be a diet recipe?
No diet recipe, no? So here we have some fresh breadcrumb here. Good. And then I'm going to do a butter here, a mixture of butter. And all that fish is going to be cut into pieces. You're going to help me with that,
Yes.
right? There I'm going to
Start
put,
cutting it if you tell me
Right.
how big you want them.
well, about 1 inch cube, you know. I'm putting 1.5 stick of butter in there. And about 3/4 tablespoon almond. I'm putting almond. I'm putting about 3/4 cloves of garlic. Dill, thing of dill in there. Black pepper. Bit of salt. You want at least 3/4 tablespoons of white wine in there, I would say. And I put a little bit of Pernod, which is a kind of a licorice type of taste. Pernod or Ricard, if you don't like it, you can omit it, it's fine.
It's very,
We're gonna
very
make a-
southern France, isn't it?
Very southern France, yes. Let that turn for a while. We have a piece of salmon, we have a piece
Yeah.
of tuna, I have a piece of codfish here. That's good. This is about fine now. As you can see, it's nice and
Yeah. Smells
done.
good.
Smells good. So I'm going to leave it in there.
I was going to ask you, what meat was this, a calamari?
Yeah, those are calamari.
How do you
and,
want them cut? Sort
yeah,
of
we're going
the
to cut
same
them
way?
into
The
strips
strips, okay.
like this, you know. That'd be fine.
Yeah, fine.
And what we are going to do is to put salt and pepper on the fish here. And for the time being, I'm going to start by putting about a third of the butter, spraying it all around, you know, in the bottom. I'm looking at that bread. It's nice and tight, you see. There is no hole. I don't want
Yes.
it crack open because it may seep out a little bit, you know. We have wild mushroom here, and the wild mushroom can be chopped coarsely. I think they're about fine here, but chop them a little bit.
You could put about anything you wanted in this.
Just about, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, not banana or stuff like this, but...
No, but
Okay, did you put seasoning on top of this?
I did not. Nope.
Okay, you want to put some salt there?
Okay, on everything.
Pepper.
No.
Now, we put... I can mix the fish or arrange it separately, but you see we're going to put a layer of different color fish here. It looks good, right?
It's particularly that it's nice, fresh fish.
Yes, tell you. Some mushroom. You know, a bit of mushroom.
You could do this with chicken, I guess, too.
Yeah,
couldn't you?
absolutely, absolutely.
And
With chicken.
It's an idea for you to take off on.
Yes. And then I'm going to put a little more butter. Okay. And then at that point, maybe the rest of the fish.
I somehow can't imagine how it's all going to turn out.
Well, we're going to find out.
We'll see.
Yes. And on top of it, now what I want to put is actually, you know, the breadcrumb that we add at the beginning from the inside of the bread. You know, I'm going to put back on top and press it a little bit on top. Is this
your recipe or a traditional one?
No, this is something that we did at home. I forget even why, you know, and I've done different interpretations of it, you know, because it's fun to do. No, it's Connecticut dish.
Oh, a Connecticut dish.
Okay. And now I would say again, probably about a quarter of a cup of a good dry white wine, you know, that I want to put on top here to moisten the top. And that's it. Now it's ready to go into the oven.
What's the oven temperature?
Well, I would cook that around 375, 400 degrees.
No.
It's going to take a while, you know, at least 30, 40 minutes.
What do you think, about an hour?
Well, maybe not an hour, but close to.
Yeah.
See.
Well, we'll be looking at it. This is an enormous sandwich inspired by the south of France. It's called a giant pain bagnat.
Yes, a type of pain bagnat, which really means bathed bread, you know. Bagnat means a bath. And so in the south of France, they do that.
It's bathed in olive oil.
Bathed with olive oil and all this.
They say it isn't any good unless the oil comes down and falls off your elbow.
Yes, that's true.
That's wonderful.
But this, you know,
this is great for a big party.
Yes.
We're going to show you how to make it from top to bottom.
Yes. Let's start making the pain bagnat then. So we start with one of those nice focaccia type of flat bread, and you cut that the same way you cut a cake, you know. Don't turn your knife, but turn your hand like this. To cut all around until you find your first cut.
There you are.
And we start with...
I put a little olive oil on it.
Okay. But this will be the top. I'm putting the vinaigrette in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think we need a little.
So maybe we don't have to put the vinaigrette. Maybe we just put a bit of.
We have the vinaigrette too, I think.
Okay, one layer of lettuce. So you want to do a little bit of vinaigrette there?
Fine.
And after that, I'm putting some brie cheese here, you know, and I'm going to.
This is kind of a Lyonnaise version.
If you
of the Marseillaise.
I'm going to trim a bit the outside of the cheese.
We don't have any chopped shallots, do we?
No chopped shallot, no.
Give me a shallot, I'll chop one up.
All right. Here we have.
And I need a little knife.
You want a little knife? Here it is.
You've kept them all on your side.
I kept all the knife on my side. Now I trimmed the cheese, and I'm going to cut it into a slice like this. So I'll put first the cheese on top of it here like this. So yeah, that's
a good idea, having the cheese in it.
Yeah, that gives, of course, some richness to it. So on top of the cheese, I think one large tomato is going to be enough. I cut it into thin slice. All right, I'm putting the tomato now, so...
Want a little vinaigrette on that?
You know what I should put first? I think I'll put the olive first. See, and those are pitted...
Those are the Niçoise olive.
Yes, pitted black olive.
Oh, like they're lovely.
Yeah, like that they can wedge in between the cheese and all that.
I'll put a little bit of vinaigrette on.
Well, you can put some on my tomato.
Yeah.
That's it. That looks good already, right?
I think we should salt the tomatoes a little bit.
Yes, and then, well, I'm putting anchovy fillet on top of it, you know.
Now, some people hate anchovies, and if you really hate them, you could use sardines perfectly well.
Yeah, exactly, or tuna. You mentioned before that the real pain bagnat is, tuna in it.
With tuna in it.
Right.
So some good flaked tuna, not the kind of tuna that's packed in water. That's what the anti-fat people have done to the tuna fish industry that
Oui.
disintegrates after a while. You get
Yes.
tuna packed in olive oil.
Do we have enough vinaigrette on top, right?
Nope.
Did I forget anything? I mean, you can put other things from red pepper or green pepper and so forth. So we put the other cover on top, and the idea is, of course, to wrap it up and put a weight on top of it so that all the taste kind of mingle together. And there you would want to put it on a tray like that with another tray on top, and then I sit on it. Now, we put a big pot, and you keep that either in your refrigerator or in a cold place. You know, you can keep it overnight or at least a couple of hours. And this is the way we do our pain beignet. I think we could taste it now, yes? You know, with picnic like that, I love white wine, I love red wine. Any type of wine is good with any type of picnic.
I like beer.
You like beer?
We haven't had any beer in this series.
Where is my white wine then?
Well, you're going to have to drink beer
Okay.
and white wine afterwards.
Afterward? Okay. And now we're ready to taste it. You want a little piece like this?
That's lovely.
And now while the seafood bread is cooking, it should be ready pretty soon.
That's good.
Yes.
I think beer will go very nicely with it.
Uh-huh.
Now, you think your seafood bread is ready?
Close to.
Good. There's our great fish loaf.
Yes, we
That
got
looks
that.
marvelous.
Yep.
Yippee-yi-hey.
This is a big sandwich, huh?
That's beautiful.
Yes, it's hard. It took quite a long time in the oven, you know. See how crunchy it is? And look at the center of that bread. Isn't that beautiful? With all
That's
the fish,
beautiful.
all the juice came out of it. Also that, you know, you crush
love the
a
sound
piece
of
like
it.
that. The sound, I mean, this would be a good big portion. Let me cut a small piece so we can have it flat like that and see the way the butter and the bread. I cut it like this. If you want to test it, see, the fish is cooked and it does take a long time. There is an enormous amount of juice from the fish, the mushroom and all that, which comes out and goes through it. So you really have to season it. It's crunchy.
That has a lovely flavor in that green sauce.
I'm delighted
It's
to
just
love it.
beautiful for it.
Well, with that delightful sandwich, I think we deserve a rich, buttery Chardonnay. This is from the Santa Maria Valley. It was great cooking all those sandwiches with you. I hope you're going to do sandwich for your family.
And this wine is very good with it. I think this should give you a lot of new ideas on sandwiches.
Yes.
So, bon appetit.
And happy cooking.
That was fun, Jacques.
It was great.